We got an inquiry from someone who is having some drainage issues around their fairly newer swimming pool. I think it's about 3 years old. There are some pictures the homeowner sent in. What advice do you have for remedying the situation of their liner floating when it rains?
Okay, so I've got a group of your pictures here, and I'm looking at them without walking the yard and knowing everything that's going on. There's a couple things that are suspect to me. Sandy explained to me that you had drains installed in the wall to let the water from behind the wall come onto the patio, and then patio drains to take that water out along that side of the pool. That it looks like that we have the water issue all along that wall. But the thing that's curious to me is this particular picture showing that the retaining wall descends and recedes and drops down toward your, looks like a walkout. And what concerns me there is all of that water now is obviously probably building up around your basement door, if there's a door there. I don't know if you're getting water in your basement there or not, or if it's flooding there. That to me, just kind of without being there, that to me indicates that any water that's up here, anything that's water that's on the deck, anything that's running around the top round of the pool, not necessarily the downspouts unless those aren't going anywhere, which again, I see a downspout coming down. If that water's not specifically being taken 30 or 40 feet away from the house, that could be an issue. But my thought is water's traveling down in the ground here. If I had built this, thinking about it, if I had built this, I would have had this retaining wall come all the way across at the same level and go back to the house, so that everything under there was up high and then drain away. So initially my thought is any water that's coming here, hitting the side of the house, hitting the deck, hitting anywhere along the driveway here, is working its way this way. And then more than likely, because I know this is the side of the pool that's floating, more than likely the water builds up there and it weeps under the patio here, under your pavers, under your paver stone, whatever's underneath that, and works its way around, because behind the wall of the pool, as you well know, that was hollow when the footing was poured in there, and then backfilled with some material, maybe backfilled with stone, maybe backfilled with sand, maybe backfilled with clay, what it was there, and then your slag, your stone and your slag and your patio stone was put in. But likely what's happening is the water flows to here and then works its way underground and comes around and floods this whole area out. That would be my initial thought. Another thing would be, are the pavers sealed? Did you use instead of a silica sand, did you use one of those rubber-based or acrylic-based sand blends in between the stones? Because again, water building up there, weeping through, goes down. When you have a concrete patio, you don't have all those spaces in between the stone that allows the water to weep through, and in a good hard rain, water's going to build up there, and sure, a lot of it's going to run to the drain, but a lot of it's going to weep through. And that may simply be that as well, because as I understand it, this only happens when it's really wet, when it's raining. So it's obviously surface water that's creating this problem. I can't see the rest of the pool in terms of where else I could see anything, but that was the first most obvious, was that to me, was waiting for waiting for problems right there. And then the second thing is the sand, the grout itself that's between the sand, between the paver stones themselves.
So how do you fix it?
I think that a solution for fixing, potentially, number one is we'd have to see, and you could probably run a pretty good test by simply, might take a little bit of time and effort, but by running a garden hose underneath there and letting it get enough water, 3 or 4, so that you were building up some water down here, and see what happens to the pool itself. And likely it's a matter of putting some type of a sump pump system down there by a crock of some type by the door that would then lift the water, pump it, maybe hang it underneath the deck and pump it to the far end and then dump it out into the yard somehow. I mean, that's First solution, first thing. I would really have to walk the whole environment with it happening to be able to see it better, but